morning, good afternoon. Hope you're having a good midday wherever you're watching, whatever time you're looking into this video. This is Jayden speaking from Couch in the Mind, clearing the mind one couch talk at a time. It's in this weird and wonderful world that we live in at the moment where, well, currently in my position, I'm based in Brisbane, and Anastasia Palaszczuk has now extended our lockdown. To some people, it's very frustrating. But for me, I seem to like just to go with the flow. There's no point putting inner frustrations into it because it is what it is, as the saying goes. And you just get on with it and enjoy being released out of lockdown. Fingers crossed tomorrow. So, I mean, this is not what the video is about. The topic I want to go over in this video is why not try? And this will be the last episode that I do for this season. Probably have a month break off, and I think it's a really good episode and topic to go through. And where I'd like to start is my sort of journey, how me putting myself out, in positions of vulnerability where I usually wouldn't openly do, has changed me as a person, as a better. So I'll talk about myself, and then through that, I'll talk about just in general why it's so important just to try things out and like I said, let your guard down, open up your vulnerability, and knowing that you might fail at something that you're trying to do. Okay. Where I like to start is during a period of my time in my life where things weren't easy. I was struggling, and my resource for exterminating these struggles was through going out and drinking. And I was just sitting there going, surely there's another way of doing this. There's got to be another way, another healthier alternative to to get through the tougher times. And as I'm sitting there, twisting my fingers, you know, toddling away, it hit me. I have a high drive for exercise and fitness, but I've never been able to push myself to do something in regards to rock climbing or something involving with heights. And I am shit scared with heights. Okay. All right. So this comes back to that idea of just pushing yourself and giving something a go. And after a lot of thought processing, a mate of mine asked me if I wanted to go rock climbing, and finally came to the conclusion of giving it a go. It took a while. I was freaking out, but I managed to do it. And we started off going to Mount Tibrogargan, which is what you call one of the Glasshouse Mountains. So from Brisbane to Mount Tibrogargan, it's about an hour and a half drive. And for those who don't know what Mount Tibrogargan looks like, it is, let's say it's not specifically a hike as such. If anyone calls it a hike, they're dreaming. All right. So Mount Tibrogargan is an upward slope, and as you're going up, it's not necessarily it is a free climb, but it's not extremely perfectly vertical. Whereas there is a bit of an uphill climb. Um, Needless to say, you have to hold onto the rocks to get yourself up. And as I'm going up, I'm freaking out. But what I've learned in situations like that is the moment you freak out is the moment you freeze and you don't know what to do with yourself. So you're better off going with someone when you're trying something new, pushing your comfort zone, and just have someone with experience there. Tell them, hey, I'm freaking out. What the hell do I do? I'm going to shit myself. um, and they'll push you through those times. But what was most important for me, what made me drive and what me want to continue to do things like this, was when I got to the top. The top was unbelievable. I'll put a photo on on my Instagram, on the couch in my Instagram, to let you guys know exactly what it looked like. But it was just amazing. It was immaculate. Like it. I don't know if you ever worked so hard for something and you just never think you can get to it, but once you achieve it, you just feel just unbelievable. Whether or not that may be trying to get through a degree, and month on end, you're just sitting there going, I don't even know if I can do this. I don't see myself doing this outside in the real world. And you're struggling to get through, or maybe you're just struggling with an assignment and it's just hindering you away. But you get to the end and you're just like, shit, yeah, let's go. I feel so good for it, and I'm so glad that I continued it. Situations like that where tough at the time, but the long term goal is is just amazing. To be able to get to it, it makes it all worthwhile. And that was exactly like the feeling that I was experiencing in that sort of situation. Okay. And that was me. I'll talk about more like a realistic lifestyle sort of example for people listening in. So I'm assuming not everyone on a daily basis would go climbing up the glass house mountain. So let's put it in literal terms, okay? So I'll refer back to a book that I read, and I was referred to it by an old teacher that taught me back at school in year six. Yes, old teacher. Hey, why are you still in contact with him? Well, he's a good bloke, Mike Lubens. Shout out to him. He's a great bloke, and I think why I've kept in contact with him, he's in his late 30s, is his lifestyle approach, um, and I encapsulate that, and I feel like I that's the way I want to go ahead in terms of my own personal life. Anyway, we'll brush over that. So the book he referred to me was The Alchemist, and The Alchemist is a story about a young shepherd who goes about his life on a daily basis. He's a shepherd. He's going through cities and towns with his sheep, his flock, and through that he's earning money. One day he goes to a town and he meets this old man at a park bench, and the old man he for some reason he had this inkling to tell this old man that he keeps having this recurring dream of him walking to the pyramids of Egypt. And as he gets to the pyramids of Egypt, he he's being told to find this treasure. And before the treasure is revealed to him in his dream, he wakes up every single time. So he never gets to see what the treasure is. Okay. So and I'll explain one of the situations in the story which will be relatable to what I'm talking about now. Okay. So as he's sitting on the park bench with this old man, the old man says, I know exactly what this means. You need to chase your dream and you need to go for it. I know it's very hard to push yourself, push your boundaries, and just to try things new because you might fail. It might not be there. There might not be any treasure, but you don't know until you try. And his example, the old man used, and I'll quote, this is what he said. So, young boy, look opposite to us. There's a bakery. And inside that bakery, there's an old man that I've known since I was young. He's the same age as me now, okay? This old man had the dream when he was younger of traveling the world and seeing all the wonderful beauties and sights known to man. Unfortunately, he didn't chase that dream and he chose to take over the bakery business from his father. And because he's got such a high responsibility, he's now older, he's got family and kids, and he's the one person to run the business. He is in no situation to be able to do that anymore. It's gone. The dream is gone, and yeah, it's past. Chase your dream while you can, even though there is that chance that you might not be able to find what you want. You don't know until you try. And I think it's a really good example in life. We can look at something and we can look at something and be like, hey, oh, I wouldn't mind being a personal trainer. And then what starts to linger in the back of your mind is, oh, there's too many personal trainers out there. I think it's going to be too hard. The industry is such in high demand that it's just too competitive. I don't think I'm going to be making it. And then it's easy just to give up at that moment. But until you actually try, go through the process of getting your Cert 3, your Cert 4, becoming a certified personal trainer, and putting in your hard yards and building rapport with your customers and your clients, there's no reason why you can't achieve it. Nothing is unachievable. The only thing that stops you is yourself and your mind. And just have a think about that. Anything you do in life, the only reason why you might hit a roadblock is most commonly usually just because of yourself, because you're overthinking things and you stop yourself from being able to do something where you know quite in fact that you could probably do it. My ideology with life itself is I don't want to be at 50 or at 60 and looking back at the young 20-year-old Jayden and thinking, I really, really wished that I did this degree. I wished, obviously, when we can travel internationally again, I really wish I went to X country or Y country and just did a bit of sightseeing, worked at a cafe for 6 months per se. Who cares? I wish I did it. I don't want to have those thoughts. I want to be able to tick everything off the bucket list and just to continue to go on with it and enjoy life and make the most of what we have. Because it's so cliche, and I know I sound very doomy and gloomy when I say this, that we just don't know when life ends. We don't know when life ends. I mean, for my example, 3 years ago, when I had my electric shock as a first year apprentice, my life could have well and truly ended in that instance. Fortunately enough, I managed to break the circuit, and I'm still here today to share the story and spread the love per se. But you know what I mean. Like any instance we can go through, it can be very extreme. It can be very high risk, and I just think make the most of every opportunity. Enjoy the time with your loved ones as well, because you just don't know when it ends, and just whatever makes you happy, and as long as you're not putting anyone else down and putting yourself in danger or anything, just continue to do it and just continue to have fun. But I think it comes with a level of vulnerability to be able to do that. I mean, say for example, with social media, and I think social media is a big issue with this, with the whole just trying things out. You know, if you don't fit in that social media mold or bubble of what people deem to be acceptable, say for example, let's say, um, you know, sport is a very well publicized topic in the social media realm. And say, for example, someone that you maybe you're not into sport in fitness. You know, people who are into fitness and sport might see you as a bit of a couch potato, but it is what it is. You don't like it. You can get bogged down on that because you might not be into fitness, but you want to have that nice physique and nice body. But what you need to remember is what makes you happy from the inside. You know, from the outside, you could be bloody Dwayne the Rock Johnson per se, but that doesn't always make you happy. I can guarantee Big Dwayno would be struggling at times as well. In fact, the toughest people out there that hold themselves very well and get on with life and don't show any sign of weakness are the ones that are struggling the most. I can guarantee you, because and the reason why that may be the case is because they may have never been shown as a child how to be able to openly talk about things, or you know whether or not they have an emotion. They might not even be aware of what emotions are. There are many people out there that, you know, someone passes away and they don't have any emotional sort of response to that because they don't know how to respond, um, or they're just trying to be the rock for that instance. All right. So you have to show a level of vulnerability to be able to just give things a go, try things out. There are most certainly going to be people along the way of your journey that will give you shit for what you're doing. I I cannot stress that enough. I can't sit here right now and say everyone you meet, everyone you'll come across is going to be friendly in regards to what you're doing. No, that's not going to happen. Unfortunately, there's some masters in the world, and that's what they do. They love putting people down, and it might also come down to pure jealousy. All right. I remember when I was younger, I was actually talking to a mate about this, and he felt the exact same way. When High School Musical came out, and Zac Efron was Mr. Popular, Mr. Attractive, I used to hate it. I used to put so much shit on him because I was so jealous. He was getting all the girls. Everyone was speaking about him. Same with Justin Biebs when he had the comb over haircut. I think when his baby release came out, God, I was jealous. I didn't acknowledge it, um, and I was always sitting there going, "What? Like, how do I need to improve myself to be at that level?" Do I need to grow my hair out and get a comb over and buy like a voice app on the phone and just do a bit of auto tune to try and get to where he is? Or what's his secret? Yeah, he must be packing a punch. But yeah, it can come down to pure jealousy. It definitely is a factor. But again, don't worry about what other people think and just be yourself. Just be yourself. And once you have the ability to do that, then most definitely you'll be able to try things out. Because why not try? The worst that can happen, the worst that can happen is A, you figure out that whatever your potential dream job is, isn't actually suited for you. B, it just doesn't like it. You might fail at it. C, it actually might work perfectly, and you want to kind of extend that research on what you're doing, and you might be going from a PT um, to a phys ed teacher to a physiotherapist. You just don't know. The possibilities are endless until you try. You don't know. And you know what? That might be the challenge I'd like to put out to you guys. I want you guys to try and just say yes for once. I know it's very easy to say no. For example, say you work full time, works hard at the moment. All you want to do is get home. You might like going to the gym as well. You get home, maybe do a bit of exercise, have a bit of a feed, and then you just chill and you relax and you go to bed. And that's sort of the cycle you're stuck in at the moment because, like I said, work's really hard. What I want you guys to try and do, I want to challenge you, whether it be on the weekend as well when you have a bit more time. If someone asks you to do something or you see something online and they're looking for volunteers, why not say yes? If you think you can put time aside to try it out and give it your best shot, I challenge you guys to try and say yes. I challenge you. For another example in my life, I I actually inquired with Rosie's, and for those who don't know what Rosie's is, it was started. I was founded by it was founded through Iona College. Okay, and Rosie's essentially goes out and helps to feed the homeless. And it's not just about feeding the homeless, it's about having a conversation, just make them feel loved and feeling a part of the community that we live in, the world that we live in, because everyone struggles. And unfortunately, for their instance, it's a lot more extreme than what you and I would probably be going through. And that's what's put them on the streets, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or just a money spending addiction. And I think we can all relate to that at some stage. But unfortunately, they've just gone to a next level of risk taking to get to where they are. Okay. And with Rosie's, I never saw myself doing it because I was just concerned, you know, do I have the time? Do I really want to spend my time doing this? Like, I wouldn't mind just sitting down, relaxing and doing stuff. But once I actually managed to do that, I cried about it. I said, yes, let's give it a go. I tell you what, it is life changing. You think your life is hard. You get home, and there's still dirty dishes in the sink, and you're thinking, God, now I'm gonna have to let it clean the dishes, put them in the dishwasher, and then wait for it to be done, and then put them away. Well, let me tell you, that is nothing in comparison to what they have to go through. Imagine right now, um, you can't really hear because I've put a different audio setting on in this episode, so you can't hear the background noise. But it's raining at the moment in Brisbane. Could you imagine that right now for them? They have to try and seek shelter whilst trying to find food scraps on the street. I know I met a guy who lived on the streets, lovely man, and all he does day in day out is he walks the streets of the CBD, the Brisbane City, and he goes through and finds empty cans throughout the streets of the CBD, and he collects them. And he showed me this is how much money I'm making annually, and he was accumulating 5 to 10 grand worth of cans. And you know what? Good on him. Like, for being in such a low and shitty situation, to finding a way of coping and getting through is unbelievable. And I think we can all learn from that. We all go through tough times in our life, but it might be a good gentle reminder just to think of that old man who's walking the streets annually, making fights, finding enough cans around the streets to make 5 to 10 grand. We can certainly make a difference in any way. We can look at our life and change our perspectives positively through that outlook of that story. But needless to say, it's so important just to try things out because that was a life changing experience for me. And I wouldn't have done it if I just said, "Nah, I just want to chill. I don't feel like doing this. Work's too hard." That's my challenge. Just say yes to something, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But just give something a go that will push your comfort zone to another level. I just want you guys to know that I know it's hard to push yourself, but you've got my support, and know that if you always need anything, you can hit me up because I know what it's like. I know exactly how you feel. Times can be tough, and it's very hard to build your characteristic if you know that there's other people putting you down. So Know that I'm here for you. And once you do it once you do it the first time, every other time after that becomes easier and easier, and you just don't care. As long as it's helping you, you don't really care, and that's the main factor. Building yourself and enjoying what you have because you just don't know how long it's going to last. You don't really know, and that is such an important thing to uphold. I want to end this episode with a quote, and for those who follow me on my social medias, they will know that I do have a bit of a fetish for quotes. Don't worry, it is relatable. I'm not just saying it just to fill the void. But the ending quote I want to say before we wrap this video up is try new things every day and don't be afraid of failures. You will not lose anything, but your brain will be packed with experiences. And it's exactly right. If you just continue to do what you're doing, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you enjoy that, that's fine. But if you want to push yourself and you're afraid to do that, don't be afraid. And don't be afraid for failure because without failure, you can't grow as a person. You can't have that experience to then go, okay, if I'm in that situation again, in a couple months' time, I know how to better myself through that situation. It's all about growth and without failure and without pushing yourself and trying new things every day, you don't know how that feels and you don't know where to go from there. But uh, but guys, yeah, that's all from me. I hope you guys enjoying the first few seasons. This is the end of season two. I'll be coming back better than ever. Season three, I've got quite a few things installed, which I think you guys will get a lot out of. Great guests. I'm going to improve the video quality, and yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for me to go over in terms of quotes and topics or anything, just let me know because I will do it. I'll make sure I can accustom it to any of my videos because at the end of the day, I'm doing this for you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it and I hope I'm helping someone out there because that's all what it's about. But yeah, this has been season two, episode 21 of Couch in the Mind, clearing the mind one couch talk at a time. And on today's episode, I've been going over the topic of why not try? Why not try? And that's it. Give it a go. What do you got to lose? But yeah, that's all from me, and that's the end of season two. I'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. As I said, bigger and better than ever. And as always, if you guys need anything, just message me on the Couch in the Mind Facebook page. Catch you later.